Welcome, everybody, to the Hatchett's Way podcast, the first live in-person edition. Representing. This was a goal. This was a plan. I thought it would happen in Atlanta, but it's happening in Dallas with the wonderful, the magnificent Terry.
Hello.
What up, T?
Thank you so much for having me.
Terry, you probably know her because she's amazing. And she's loaded. But besides from that, she's a really dope person who everyone needs to hear her story and learn from her journey. So Terry, how are you today, man?
I am good. Do you know, I still remember, I don't know where we were. I don't know if it was like Atlanta or somewhere.
We've been in a few different places together.
We were in Austin together at the boat party.
Yeah.
I just remember there was one room and you were like, we were all talking and I started first and you were like, yes, we got to start with the person with the most money in the room.
I did say that. So I have a pretty good sense of humor for people who know me in real life. I don't know if it comes across on camera, but in real life, I'm a pretty good time, which is actually going to be our first question, Terry.
Oh, geez.
Who was the most lit person at Erica Williams' boat party?
You, of course. Of course it was you.
Yeah, it was.
I remember afterwards we went and got tacos too. It was totally you.
The taco story. So I was on the boat. I don't think I ate because I was too busy dancing and drinking. So Money Madu.
Second part.
Shout out to Money Madu. He had to go inside and order me tacos, and that saved my life. So shout out to Money Madu for getting me tacos. Shout out to Erica on the boat party.
Hey, Money Madu. Hey, Erica Williams.
So Terry, you are kicking butt in a major way. Tell the people what kind of year you had financially last year. Wow.
So 2019, I made my first $1 million, and I thought that was going to be the epitome. Yeah. I was like, actually thinking that like it was going to go downhill from there. Like, is this never going to happen again?
Let me save it. Let me be conservative.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this was a mistake. It's just a happenstance. And then in 2020, I actually had my first 8-figure year. I made over $10 million. Actually, I made like $14 million.
Whoa, fresher.
Yeah. It was a crazy year.
Man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And when I saw you say it on David Shan's podcast, shout out to David Shan's, great guy, by the way, I was like, wow. I wasn't that surprised because I kind of expect that from you. But I was like, she deserves it. She deserves these kind of numbers and these kind of wins because of who you are and what you put out there. How did you earn that kind of money?
So a big part of it came from courses. So I teach people how to invest in the stock market. And I also traded myself. So I had my first 6-figure day.
$100,000 on one day?
Yeah. Uh-huh. And like I was thinking the other day, I was like, you know what? When I first started learning how to trade, my goal was to make $300 a day.
If you would have done that, you would have been cool.
I was cool. I was like, oh, I can quit my job. I can travel around the world. I can be free. But now, like recently, I've started making like $300,000 in a day on a regular basis. And I'm like, wow, Terry, you went from $300 a day to $300,000 a day.
In the span of how many years?
I've been trading 11 years, but my $300 a day was like 3 years ago. So in about 3 years' time, I've increased my trading that much. All
right. So from $300 a day to $300,000 a day, it's possible. It's possible with enough work. Yeah. Do you find it hard? So you're crushing it in life. You're trading, you're traveling. That's the name of your course. Hit the website link below. Mm-hmm. Do you find it hard to not diversify, to stick to your lane, to not go and flip houses every week because people on Instagram Live are doing it? Or is it easy for you?
Well, I like doing what I'm good at. And I'm actually a very focused person.
Good.
So I think for me, like, I get overwhelmed super easy. So I'm like,
you gotta know who you are in life.
Yeah. I'm like, I just need to do one thing and do that one thing really well.
Okay.
And for me, it was even like, I don't know if I even need to like in the beginning, I just wanted to trade. I didn't even want to have the course because I wanted to focus on just trading.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so now the course lately has been like, oh my God, now I have to like split my attention. And so like anything else is just a bit much.
It's just too much to handle.
Yeah. But I will say that like I love real estate. So as I have increased my income, I have been diversifying a little bit into like looking into apartment buildings and looking into like purchasing multi-units and stuff like that. But that's just a passion.
And you're looking at real estate now after you've mastered what you're currently doing. And most people, they want to do the whole 7 streams myth or fact, depending on who you ask. It's not 7 streams at one time you start. It's kind of space them out and let one thing grow to the other.
Yeah, they say riches in the niches. Like when you
Pressure.
can really focus on one thing and do that one thing really great, then everything else will come. But when you spread too thin, you're not doing anything well.
Mastery leads to multiple.
Ooh,
that's pressure right there.
I need to write that down. Let
Put it
me
on a
get
shirt.
my notebook. Y'all
Put
know
it on
I'm
a
teaching
shirt.
like mastery
leads to multiple. It does.
Andre Hatchett.
There we go. Don't forget the C. All right. Why do some people not want to pay for intellectual property or somebody's time or experience even when they have the money?
Let me guess, you're tired of your job and you want to become your own boss. You need to supplement your income with part-time work. And you're a serial entrepreneur who wants to start another business with low startup costs. Well, you need to come and join the 2 to 12K Club today. We will teach you how to start this business for only $500, how to effectively market your services, how to secure long-term high-paying clients, how to make $60 to $250 per appointment, how to create systems and make money without being at an appointment. And you will get the peace of mind that you can leave any job at any time and start this business. For more details, check out the 2 to 12K Club today. The 2 to 12KClub.com.
Why do some people not want to pay for intellectual property even when they have the money?
Even when they have the money.
So that's such a loaded question.
It
Such
is.
a loaded question.
And I heard you on Clubhouse a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And I got upset for you. I was trying to get up there, but they wouldn't let me up. I was going to let some people have it.
Oh my gosh, I know you would.
I wasn't
oh
feeling
my God.
it. I was not feeling that.
So many people. Okay, so
Wall Street held you down very
He
well.
did.
Wall Street
He
Trapper,
did. Shout out
you.
to Trap.
And I want to have you on the podcast next, Wall Street.
Thank you. You know, like so I was on like a live on Instagram and someone had brought up Trap's name and they were like, I like Trap because he stood up for you, Terry.
Very well. I was very proud of that.
He did a good job.
Very proud of that.
So I think there's a couple things.
Okay.
Like there's like
You can say it. You can say it.
So first of all, there's this idea going out that in order to give something or help the culture, it has to be free. And what I really want to let people know is when you think that for the culture means broke, like that's part of the problem.
Uh-oh.
People in our culture are not broke. And like the mentality that keeps saying that we are broke is what's keeping us from being equal in everybody else's eyes. Because when they think of Black Lives Matter, they think of broke lives matter. And that's not okay. So we need to stop associating for the culture with the amount of money that's in someone's pocketbook. I'm Black and I'm a multimillionaire. So you can't tell me that I can't afford something that's $5,000 because to me, like that's nothing.
Yeah.
Which sounds bad, but I'm just saying.
It is what it is.
So like we've got to stop associating color and culture with bank account and cash.
You can still be deep and pro-Black and or woke and charge for your time and your information.
Yeah, well, and still be wealthy.
I like that.
Like it's almost like when I was growing up, people would say, "Well, why are you talking white?" Because I was talking proper, and it was a thing of, well, if you can't be Black and be proper, you can be both.
Yeah, you can.
And I think that's the same thing with wealth too. Like there's a both and we keep trying to like go for this. We want to build wealth. We want to invest. We want to get up to the next level. But then we keep keeping our businesses down and saying, well, we can't charge you or we can't pay for what you do. And like those won't both equally exist.
And then people want to dictate people's pricing. I think it's a Black thing, and I think it's a woman thing as well. I do think
it's Women's History Month, so we can speak on that
we
too.
can speak on that too. Okay.
No, wait, you go first, because
Yeah, I think a lot of times women in this regard have it harder as far as charging for your worth. I think especially maybe a nice woman, a woman who who's pleasant. You have a very pleasant voice, very pleasant demeanor, good-looking woman. They might expect you to just be, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just give you what I have. But no, you have a standard. And you've paid, how much money have you paid on
Every
education?
single course that I took was $20,000 to $30,000 per course.
Wow.
And I took multiple courses.
Yep.
And when I looked at paying those people, the thought was not, oh, like, why are you charging me? It's like, no, I'm thinking about the value that I can get from what you're teaching me. I know that I will make multiple off of what you're teaching me. So yes, what you're giving is worth the 20 to 30,000. So I can't even imagine why someone would look at anybody else's course or any entrepreneur's product and say it's not worth me paying for it because it's for the culture.
Especially when you have, we know all the same people, right? Or just about. I don't know anyone who's ever said anything bad about your product. Ever. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about it, ever in my life.
Thank you. And that's true. Like, we've had like 6,000 people take the course, growing every day, 1,000 of them in the $1,000 in a day club, testimony upon testimony of how well they're doing. Yeah. And yet you think I should give it away for free?
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Wait, one other thing I will say. There was this thought of, if you make more, then you should do things for free. That was like another thing. Well, you know, if you had 500 million, would you, charge people? But I think about Elon Musk and all the other billionaires in the world. Elon is a billionaire, but he still charges for Teslas because the Tesla is worth what it's worth.
Ooh. But then that's intellectual property to something that people can physically have in their hands, and people have a higher value on physical stuff compared to intellectual stuff.
And see, that's such a bad thing. Like, that's a mindset shift in itself. Like, the things that go into your mind are more valuable than just the material things.
I agree.
And on top of that, like, I know my thing is a course. It's a package. So it's not just, am I going to stand in front of you and preach? But it's like, no, this is a physical thing too. This is a course. It's an online course that took hours and hours of work.
And what you're still putting into.
Years to formulate. Yeah. And years of time.
Grab the course, y'all. Change your life. Link below. How is your life or your overall life different now than it was when you had a full-time job? And how long have you not had a full-time job for?
So I quit my job in 2017.
So 4 years, 2021 now. Okay.
Is it 4 years?
Or three and change. Yeah.
Wow, time flies.
Time flies when you getting rich. Yeah, it does. Wealthy. Sorry. Wealthy. Oh, my bad.
So, yeah, that's how long I haven't had a job. I think the differences now are that I control my time. So it's the thing of, if I decide that everything is going to stop today, then everything stops today and I can get in a plane tomorrow. I can work from wherever I want to work. Like, I choose the rules, which I think is very different than when I was crying in the bathroom with the boss.
Oh, that bad?
So bad. Like, every single day they tried. And I think this is to the point of earlier us talking about people have different expectations for women. I think that when I walked into my school building, there was one principal in particular, no, two bosses in particular, who saw my light and wanted to dim it.
Ooh, that's insulting.
Insulting. And I think that they did everything possible to try to make me feel less than because they were intimidated. And this is like what I've come to understand after getting out of the situation. But like, it would be little things. Like, I would do a whole project and then they would criticize me for like the one thumbtack that was the wrong color. Or it'd be, okay, you did this great job, everybody's happy, but you did it different than I said so you still did it wrong, So just everything to make me feel like I wasn't wanted, like I was like less than. But then I think that was my Moses moment.
Yeah.
Like,
showed you what you were made of.
Yeah. And it was like, I'm a big Bible person. In the Bible, there's a time where Moses went to Pharaoh to get the Egyptians out. But the Bible says that God hardened Pharaoh's heart. And the thing is, every time Moses went, he would have this like really great petition, and then Pharaoh would say no. But the thing is, Moses wouldn't have moved if Pharaoh had said yes. And I think God knew that I would get comfortable in that school. I wouldn't have started trade and travel. I wouldn't have started left the job if things were comfortable.
You had to get ticked off.
He needed to harden their heart so that I would leave. Can you imagine all the people's lives who wouldn't be impacted? Y'all wouldn't be sitting here doing this podcast had
Totally
I not
agree.
left.
I remember I used to work with special needs children. I was a teacher's aide and assistant youth basketball coach. Very honorable work, but the pay is the pay. People told me to work the job for 20 years, then get a pension and retire. So I would have still been there. I would have been 42, 41 or so. And the max of what I would have been able to make would have been, with overtime, 70, 60. If I would have become a teacher, 120, 130 on the high end.
That's on the high end.
That's on the high end. And I've had months where I made 40 and change, 30 and change. So my whole year's salary in a month. People will put the limitations on you. You got to brush them shits off and kick them and step on them too. I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to get pissed off. I am going to go there. People try to limit you in life, right? Especially when you're black. People try to limit you. And they have this notion that they're doing you a favor, trying to save you. Save me from what?
Right.
I don't want to do that for 20 or 30 years. Nothing wrong for anybody who does, but I got something different to go figure out. I'm going to figure this shit out. I'll see you later.
That's the same thing we just talked about with mindsets too. People putting more value on a material thing than the mental and the education part of things. Mm-hmm. But it's that the education is what's going to take you to do something else. That skill set is going to be able to allow you to break those molds and those minds, those limitations. Yep. But unless people actually go for that part, they'll never know.
There we go. And along the journey with me having these kind of months, I get a DM, a text message, an email from somebody who I've helped with my Mobile Notary Academy earn between $2,000 and $12,000 a month consistently. So I'm actually still teaching. It's just I'm teaching on my own terms now.
Exactly.
Life works itself out.
That
crazy.
Okay, you were supposed to be asking me questions, but can I ask you a question?
Shoot, spit it out.
So how does it feel now taking that skill set kind of on the road? Because I feel like some people get so stuck and limited by, well, I'm a teacher, so I have to be in a building. We
identify with who we were so much. I feel every day I wake up and I realize I don't have to be where I am physically to earn $1. I don't have to be in one specific location to earn $1 every day. I can earn it from my mind now. It feels rewarding, it feels purposeful, and it feels very fucking good.
Yes. That's how I feel when I trade, because I trade from my cell phone. Yep. So I'm I could be anywhere, literally.
And I feel I also feel like I deserved it. I put in the work. I grinded it out. I've mastered my craft. And now I'm able to reap the rewards from it. It feels wonderful. I have a great life. My life is a shit.
It really is. You're here in my house, and you're
okay. This house.
Your life is shit. No.
This house. Yo, pressure indeed. Are you a spender or are you frugal?
I'm super frugal.
Why?
Except on things that I love.
Ooh, okay.
So, I'm a Nigerian woman. A
motherland. Logo, stand up, money Madu, what up?
We don't pay full price for anything. And if you ask us to pay full price, it's an insult.
It's insulting.
You insulted me that you thought I was going to pay full price. Okay. And you didn't offer. There's this one time I was in Thailand and I was with another girl. She's Greek background, but we were about to get in this boat and it was literally the only boat that was left. Wow. And the guy, she's negotiating with the guy and he will not budge on his price. She feels so insulted. She decides, I will walk through the woods at night in Thailand instead of ride your boat because you did not offer me a lower price, which we it's a little backwards because we just talked about your price is your price. Yeah, so I'm actually very proud of him for sticking to his guns. Okay. But there is a part of my culture that I identified with her, even though I thought it was crazy because I'm pretty sure she lived, but she could have fell in a sinkhole late at night. They were with their cell phone trying to figure out. That was stupid. I got in the boat. I paid him.
You paid full price.
I paid him what he was worth, but just the fact that he did not want to negotiate. So yeah, I'm frugal.
You're on the frugal side of things.
Yeah.
Where did you eat? So you got it from your upbringing, your parents?
Yeah, I grew up with a single mom and a single grandmother, and my grandmother, like, she had 6 kids and didn't have, like, my grandfather had a different household. Okay. So she had to, like, take care of all 6 kids by herself. So they, like, shared clothes, everything was hand me down. And then with my mom, it was just my mom and me, and she had me really young. So, like, everything we did was, like, we had a Happy Meal, we split the Happy Meal. I didn't know, because I thought that, like,
that was life.
Yeah, like, I had a great upbringing, but listening to her now, like, we never got anything that wasn't on clearance. Like, my mom right now, like, she loves the fact that she can go to the grocery store and actually get what she wants. Because for a long time, she could only get what was on the coupon page.
Deep.
So that's just how I grew up. You save, you go for what's cheap, you look for the cheapest option. And so it's been really cool now not having to do that.
Do you think people should be more frugal?
I think people should have goals and then figure out how to best get to their goals.
That's deep.
So, for example, I like to travel. I'll spend $20,000 on a house, like, when I'm traveling, because I really like the space that I'm in. But I have, like, a beat up car that is paid off, and I'm not going to get another car until it falls apart.
You have a beat up car and you made 14 million bands last year.
Yeah, like, what's the point of getting a new car? It works. Like,
yeah. Keep on doing it. That's real. That's real, because not everyone has to do that. I think a lot of people would be further ahead if they gave up a certain time period of their life. When I bought my first property, I was 22. I gave up 2 years and change of my life. I had 7,000, 10,000 bands in the bank, 720 credit score. My car died. Car died. 20, 21, young. I had a decision to make. I can go finance a car, but then I couldn't buy a property because my debt to income ratio would have been all jacked up. I took the bus.
But you had goals.
That goal will keep you on track.
Yes.
It will keep you there.
Do you know, okay, there was a guy, I think he was on Sleep is for Suckers, and he talked about how he slept in the garage. Did you see that one?
Y'all know he's from Philly. Doug, yeah,
yes.
Doug, yeah. Him and his girl
goals.
too.
In a sleeping bag.
In Philly's cold. Philly gets cold in the winter. Yeah.
See,
I heard that.
Like, that's gold.
That's gold.
When you give up everything to rent out your house so that you can save up, so that you can be, like, wealthy when, in a couple years. Like,
it pays off.
It does.
It pays off.
But it does have sacrifice. And I think sometimes lately people don't want to sacrifice. They just see the folks that are doing well, and they just think, well, I'm going to step straight into that without having to give up anything.
So let's just get really, it sucks. It sucks in the interim sacrificing, because you're watching everyone else do all these cool things and you have the money there. Yeah. Or it's on your credit card, like it's right there in your pocket or in the bank. And you're looking at it and you're saying, I got to wait.
Yes.
And your friends are going away. Oh, damn. I had a few years of that.
That, like, the hardest feeling is when you know that you can do something, but you feel like you can't do it yet.
Ooh.
And you're like, I have the money to do this, but I can't do it yet. That is, like, the most excruciating feeling. But you have to work through it.
Yeah.
Because eventually you'll get to the point where you can have it and you can enjoy it fully.
If you could stay home and be bored 1 to 3, 2 to 5 years, something along those lines, that's not every night. But if you can give up a certain part of your adulthood, I think you can live a much better life for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And I do think that, like people, when they look at my journey, they don't know the sacrifices that I made. And I think that, like, I know we keep coming back to this, like, worth and value question, but
yeah, it's important, and it's annoying too. Let's talk about it. It's annoying.
But, like, I think on the years where I was literally couldn't go anywhere, staring at a computer, working on slides, recording video, trying to get it
Mastering your
all
craft.
yes, trading, doing 16-hour days, like wake up, trade, then I got to work with my staff, then got to coach, and I'm to coach students. So these are 16-hour days, can't sleep, can't go anywhere, like doing all these things. Like that's the sacrifice that happens behind the scenes.
That people
And
don't
like
talk about.
that's why I'm worth what I'm worth. Because of those sacrifices and the years behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Like another one of my friends, Abu, he always talks about what you're paying for right now is not this moment. You're paying for the years that it took to get to this
there.
moment.
And the shortcut in which it has a high likelihood to the time frame in which you'll be saving, most likely be saving if you pay us for the information.
Yeah. Right.
I'll pay you $2,000 or $5,000 to save me 3 to 5 years.
11. I've been trading 11 years.
I'll pay the 2 to 5 bands.
Man, I had 6. So it took me 6 years of losing money before I first started getting consistent. 6.
Holy crap!
In my 7th years when I finally started getting it all to click. And now I have a student who in 4 months, he's already made 5,000% return. He went from a $500 account to $35,000 account in 4 months. Like that's what he paid for.
That's real.
The 7 years versus the 4 months when you have a teacher.
There we go. Is 4x cap?
So, okay, the actual idea of trading Forex is not.
Okay.
And I know that because I'm a traveler. So, like, I know that when I go to Mexico, I have to exchange dollars for pesos.
Okay.
I know that when I go to China, I have to exchange dollars for, well, Japan, there's a common one, the Japanese yen. Like, I know that, like, the differences between currency is a legit way to make money. Like, there's times where I may have my US dollar, get pesos, but then when I come back, I can't change them out. I don't exchange them right away because the exchange rate might be different in a couple days. Like that's what's happening in Forex. Like that's what they're trading, the currency. So it's a legit thing, but the way that people are doing it right now with like multi-level marketing and the way you make money is by recruiting people, that's cap.
That's cap. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that. Do people have to love what they do in order to make $1 million plus a year? Do they have to love what they do?
No.
I agree with that.
I think that some things are a calling and you do it because you're called to it, but that doesn't mean that every moment you're going to love it. And I also think that you don't have to always be happy doing what you do. But I do think that you should find ways to become happy or find joy for it to be sustainable.
That's good.
Because if it doesn't at some point become like a thing that it brings you some type of joy, or you can find some joy, it's going to be really hard to keep going.
Gotcha.
I think about that a lot with any type of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is hard.
Oh, yes, ridiculously hard.
So hard.
Ridiculous.
And if people think that, oh, I'm going to leave my job to become an entrepreneur, and they think that journey is going to be super exciting, like, it's hard. And you're not always going to like it. But it might bring you more money than if you would have stayed at your job.
I look at this thing called what I call back end passion, right? Where you don't like what you're currently doing. You don't hate it, but it's kind of like, cool. It's cool. It works. It's a gift. It comes easy to you and you have to profit from it. But the back end passion is you're able to go away for however long you want to go away for. So front end passion, that's not always there, but do you enjoy the lifestyle that it gives you? Do you enjoy the lifestyle that the work that you're not in love with or overly passionate about it gives you? I think more adults need to look at back end passion because some people won't overly love what they do to earn money. Some people just aren't those people.
So you're not the kind that says like when you're working, it won't feel like
it's
work.
Stupid.
Because
it's a lie. It's a lie. And it's misleading because when you get bored, you're going to stop and say, oh, man, that's not what I read in the blog. It's hard now. Now I'm going to quit and I'm going to start all over and start up a new business and I'm going to quit. I call them business hoppers. They start a new business or idea every 3 to 6 months because they get bored. But every business or every venture has its boring, dull moments and you're looking for that new dating high, that new car smell. Well, you should be looking for personal fulfillment.
Yeah.
That's my thing. You know a lot of millionaires. You know a lot of millionaires under 40. What do they have in common?
Grit.
Ooh.
They know how to stick it out. Even, well, that would be grit and persistence.
Okay.
There's like this like figure it outness. Like, I don't know how to do it, but I can go figure it out.
I'm going to figure that thing out.
Let me go Google. Let me go talk to somebody else. Like, I can figure it out. Like, there's that. They also have, like, I do think you have to have some kind of charm or some kind of
charisma.
Charisma. It's not that you, like, every person is gonna need that, but it's just that, like,
I think that's good.
One thing I've realized is every business you have to have marketing behind it, or it will not go.
Yeah.
And I think that there has to be some kind of like way that person is able to get their product in front of more people.
That's good.
So for all the ones that I'm thinking about in my head, there's been something that they've done to be able to get whatever they're doing in front of more people.
Kiara from Charm City Buyers, Danielle Leslie,
Yeah.
you,
Neo
Maya Davis,
yeah.
Maddie J, David Shams,
Maya Eloise.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Erica Williams. Shout out to Erica. We love you, Erica.
Yeah. We met through Erica.
So Erica is the glue for a lot of people.
Woman.
For a lot of people. Erica's just that lady.
Yes, she is.
What's the difference between trading and investing?
Okay. So trading is a way of investing, but it's just the difference between active investing and long-term investing. Cool. Active investors, they're trying to make income from their trading. So we're usually still trading really good stocks, still trading what a longer-term investor would trade, but we're just trading in and out of that in order to make income to pay for bills, pay off our debt, pay for a student loan. Like, we're using it like a side hustle or an actual job. So that's what an actual trader is doing.
Okay. And an investor is someone who buys 100 shares of Apple and just waits 5 or 10 years and sells them.
The long-term buy and hold investor is, their goal is usually more around retirement and keeping the stock over a year.
That's good.
You know what gets me though? A lot of people lately have been trading options and they've been saying, well, I'm an investor, but they're still trading the option within a year. If you're trading within a year, that's still an active investor. So you're actually a trader.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. So even if you're buying like leaps, but you're deciding that you're only going to hold it for 6 months or 9 months, you traded it within a year, so you're a trader. Deep. So that's something people don't often notice.
You said something earlier that I want to go back to. You said that you can't handle a lot of things at one time, a lot of ventures at one time. I respect you saying that. A lot of people are too prideful to say that, and they think they have to overcome that. I want them to study you and say, know who you are in life. Like, know who you are. Some people can handle multiple things. They have a 20-member staff, and then they have outsourcing a bunch of things. So some people need to just do 1 to 2 or 3 things, and that's it. Because if they do that 4th thing, they'll mess up the 3, 2, 1 things. Ooh, that's cold right there. Don't have the 4th thing mess up the 3, 2, 1 things.
Yes.
Know who you are and be okay with it. Maximize what you got. I invest in vending machines, right? 20 of them with Charles Oglesby in the gang. Shout out to Charles.
Yeah.
I don't upload any candy to that machine. I don't take out the change or the dollars. I'm a silent minority partner in those 20 vending machines. I am fine with owning 5 or 10 or whatever percent of that. Totally fine. Please keep that in mind on your journey. You do not have to do everything yourself. You could probably, you don't have to do everything at one time and or overload yourself to make money. 14 mil, 1 to 3 things. Just keep that in mind.
And I will say, like, I have about 7 income streams, but you also don't have to do all of them at once.
You don't.
Like, you can have like, okay, this year I'm focusing on these 2 and I'm going to master them. Once those are solid, then I go to the next 2.
Patience.
Yeah.
Patience.
It's crazy.
Yeah. How do you hire your staff?
I suck at it, honestly. Like, there's also things I suck at. Hiring is one of them.
Okay.
So right now, most of my staff are my family.
Okay. I hope they don't suck.
No, they actually are pretty good.
Okay.
They haven't got fired yet. So,
Will you fire them if they start to fall off?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they know that. That's why they haven't like messed up yet. Because they're like, we know Terry's crazy. So, and I'm so thankful for them. Like, they know me so well. Like,
that helps. Knowing your personality?
Yes. Like, I can say some things and any other person would quit.
Okay.
And I know they would. But my family's like, she crazy. We
Shout out to the
we gonna
family.
give her about 2-3 minutes. Come back, and then they go talk to my mom, who talks to my aunt, who talks to my other aunt, and then our whole family knows, and then there's like a reckoning. So, yeah.
Okay.
Jalen's laughing because he knows this
Shout
to
out
be
to the
true.
staff.
He knows my mom.
So
Yeah.
Jalen's in the corner dying. He's been laughing and doing his faces the whole time. Shout out to Jalen. Shout out to the BWR Network. Shout out for setting
Yes.
up the Hatchett's Way first in-person podcast. Shout out to Jalen and David on this one. Somebody wants to be a millionaire. They don't know what they want to do exactly, but they know they want to be a millionaire. Where do they start?
I think first you got to find your, and this is going to sound cliche, but you got to find your passion.
Okay.
It can't be, millionaire can't be the goal. The goal has to be, who am I going to serve and how am I actually going to generate income?
That's good.
And it actually doesn't even have to be who I'm serving, because if you're a trader, then it's just you, yourself, and you're generating income from this one thing. But you got a goal that says, like, I'm going to show up for this every day.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
I think that's where you start. How do I generate income, and then how do I make that scale up? And then as you're scaling, that's when you can start thinking about, well, how much can I make to get to that goal? Because it can't be just, okay, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow, and then the Lord will just provide a way. No, like, these are baby steps that lead up to bigger things. Like, I didn't become a millionaire this year because I just thought about it. Like, no, I've been trading, and my
you've been
goal
doing it.
originally was $300 a day. And I was okay with that. I think that too is another thing. Learn to be content in whatever season you're in. Like, if
Shout out
your
Moses.
season right now is $50,000, learn how to use that $50,000 really well and be okay.
Be okay with it.
Then when you get to 100,000, then you'll know how. I already know how to work with 50, so I can just save this other
I
50.
can rock out.
I can invest it. I could do whatever it is I need to do.
That's deep.
So that's how I would say, like, first start where you are and learn how to monetize that. And then you can make it bigger.
10 million in course sales. Do you have 10 courses or
Nope,
20
one.
course? One course.
One course. It's 8 weeks long. You can
That
start with the
focus,
first
boy.
half.
That focus will do it for you, boy. Keep going.
Oh, I was just going to say it's 8 weeks long. A lot of people start with the first half of it, which we call trade and travel. We call the whole thing VIP. But you can start with the first 4 weeks at $2,500 or the whole thing at $5,000. It's one course. And people say, oh, you should diversify and do all
Absolutely
these other
not.
things. So, like, I have a conference that we did, and that was cool.
Okay.
But no, like, I really, like, this is the course.
It's working.
And I love my life. Once you start, like, doing all these other courses and all these other
It
things,
takes away from
You
your
lose your
lifestyle
life.
freedom. Yeah. Lifestyle freedom's big. It's addictive, actually.
this is why I say, like, I'm happy that I didn't start by just wanting to be a millionaire, because if that was the case, then I would still be
You would keep
grinding right
going.
now. But the thought is, I wanted to have freedom and I wanted to have a life that I love. So that's why I do the things that I do. And I
You balance it all out.
yeah.
Damn, man. Knowing when to stop. That's a whole other episode right there. Knowing when to stop. Ooh, knowing when to stop. Terry, thank you for your time. Thank you for the hospitality. Thank you to Jalen and David BWR for holding down the set.
Yes.
Follow Terry, buy her course. She's on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, link below. The Hatchett Way podcast, our first live in person episode. Terry.